Hello. This is a video showing how to solve page number problems on landscape pages. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure our paragraph settings are turned on. So here we have a blank document, and I'm going to go ahead and put a page break here in order to create some pages and put our page numbers in. So here on the first page, we're going to pretend that this is just, this is chapter 1. Just for demonstration purposes. I'll go ahead and center it. So on the first pages of the chapters, we do not have page numbers showing. So I'm going to go ahead and show that in order to keep a page number from showing on the first page of a chapter, you need to have different first page selected. And then you go ahead and put a page number on this page. We're going to do top of page, plain number 3. There we go. There's our page number. Now, if we come down here, and you'll notice if I put another section break or another page break, I've got page number 3, no page on the front. Now, let's say I'm going to make my landscape page. So the first thing in order to do to make a landscape page is we need a section break, not a page break. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to come to insert. No, it is layout. Breaks. Next page, section break. So now we have created this section break, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to landscape. Now I'd like to have a couple of landscape pages going on, so I'm going to go ahead and put another page break for my second landscape page, and I'm going to put another page break. So we've created 3 landscape pages. I'm going to go ahead and move back into portrait pages. So I'm going to do another section break. And now we're here and I can do a portrait page. There we go. Now, this is a continuation of our text. So this is still in the middle of our chapter, which means we need a page number showing up here. We also are you'll notice that there's a page number there already and a page number there, but no page number here. This is because in our sections, we have it set to be different first page. So again, just like the first page of a chapter, there's no page number there. However, we're in the middle of a chapter, so we want a page number to show up there, just as we want a page number to show up here. Now, if I just go ahead and put a page number here, we're going to run into some problems. So let's just put a page number on here to show what happens if you just put a page number. You'll notice up here, now I have a page number showing up on the first page of my chapter, which I do not want. The reason that this has happened is because all of these headers are linked. So what we need to do before we put the page number on is we need to, I just undid putting that page number on. I need to unlink the headers and footers. So I'm just going to click in the header and I'm going to click link to previous. I'm going to unlink. I also need to unlink my footer and the second page, unlink the first and the second pages, because remember, the first page is set to be different. Now, I also have to unlink this section because this section is going to mimic anything that's happening in this section. So when they're all linked, you got to break the chain. We have to completely isolate this landscape section. So I am also going to unlink this section. And now if I have we have a lot of chains going on here. If this were the last, ended up being the last page of the chapter, or I'm going to add one more page and then I'm going to move on to the next chapter. So I'm going to insert my section break to start the next chapter. This is chapter 2. And I need to also unlink this section because we're going to make changes in this landscape page or in these portrait pages. So I need to unlink this. Now, normally, if you're not making landscape pages, you go ahead and leave all these linked because it's just handy. But again, if you have to change your landscape pages, if you have to change your page numbers within a chapter, we need to break all of these links off. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to break these links. And now that I've got this section, again, we have this header is going here. I need to unlink the second page of the header, or the second header and footer of this section. We want these completely broken apart. So now that we've got them all broken apart, we can just come up here. And there are a couple of different things we can do. We can unclick different first page. And you'll notice it popped our number back up and without affecting up here, because we just said, we don't want this first page different, make it like all the other pages, and it pops the number back. If this had been linked, changing it from a different first page would have changed the section 1 to also make it not a different first page, and the page number would have shown back up at the first of the chapter. We're going to go ahead. We said, don't make it a different page. And we have all of our page numbers. Now, when we come to this section, again, we don't want this to be a different first page. So we've unlinked everything. We can go ahead and say, not a different first page, and our page number shows up. And there is no page number here. If I were to come here and like put in a second page of our chapter, you'll notice I have a page number showing up on the second page of chapter 2, but no page number on the first page of chapter 2, which is exactly how we want it. So just remember that the section breaks control the page numbers. The page numbers, whether they show up or not, are controlled by different first page or not different. I clicked that I wanted it a different first page, so it took the page number away from the first page of section 3. I put it back, and I take the different first page away. It makes all of the pages the same, puts the page number back. Because the sections are separated, again, you want to separate the first page of your landscape page. We want to separate the header and the footer of the first 2. When they're different, you need to make it 2 pages. And then the first and second page of the portrait pages after the landscape section, and then the first page of the next chapter. Now, if you were to go back through, and if you were to say have section breaks moving from, maybe you've got a landscape page or a couple of landscape pages, then you go back to portrait, then you go back to landscape. We're going to go ahead and you go through the same process. So we're going to say this one is going to be a landscape page again. So we're going to put in our section break. We're going to make this a landscape page. We are going to click into the header and footer and make sure that it is unlinked. This one is not, that second page is not unlinked. We want to go ahead and unlink it. Sometimes they relink when you're messing with the breaks. So we're just unlinking all of those. I'm going to come back in here and you'll notice that my page number came back once I unlinked it. But again, different first page, no first page. That's what's controlling the page numbers. All of them are unlinked. You can just continue to do this from section to section, making sure that as you're switching between landscape and portrait pages, that your sections are unlinked, header and footer, first and second page, and then go ahead and turn it off. Now, another trick that we might want to do is if you have a large table that is stretching from more than one page and you need to repeat the headers or have a continuation notice, then you can break these sections off. We've got this one broken off. Let's say that here is table 1. And we've got a table here. Let me just insert just a real quick table. Let me just, I want to make this table large enough to be an example. All right, now we have a table. Now we need to repeat our column head. So this is table 1, example table. Column 1, column 2, column 3, 4, column 5. This is our header row. When you have a table that stretches across 2 pages, and this is a technique you can use even if it's a portrait page, you would still do the same process. We need a continuation notice and the column heads repeated at the top of the next page. So I have my table, I have my example, I have my column. I'm going to go ahead and select this entire row. And now I'm going to come up in here to table design. I've got it selected as a header row. I'm going to come to layout and I'm going to say repeat header rows. You have to have it selected to tell it which one is the header row. You'll notice now I have it selected, but I need to say table 1 continued at the top of the table, and there's no room for me to do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come back in here. Going to click into the header, double check. Now at this page, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace this page break with a section break because I need to mess with the page numbers and the headers, which means I have to isolate it. So at the end of the table, I'm going to change the page break to a section break. Isolate it out. This is something else now. This is our table. Now I'm going to come on into the headers and the footers. And again, I want to, because I'm messing with the page numbers and the header, I need to unlink this section. Unlink them, my page number came back. And here I am in this section. Now I'm going to go ahead because I need to do something different. I'm going to click different first page here, and I'm going to reinsert my page number on this first page. There it is, putting my page number there. I still have a page number here. Remember, we've got this set as different. So the thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit enter a few times. Oops. And then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to leave a space there and I'm going to say table 1 continued. There's my continuation notice. It is not showing up here. I don't want it up here. It is showing up here. It is not showing up here because we separated those out. If I were to relink, it would show up here, but there's going to be another table here, so we don't want the continuation notice. Then I'm going to go ahead and click out. And you'll notice that table 1 continued has now been pushed below the margin that we need. So now this is within the margin. It looks grayed out now because it's in the header, but when you turn it into a PDF or when you print it, it will be black, just like the page numbers are black. No one will be able to tell that this is in the header. It will look completely normal and exactly where you needed it to be without having to try to insert rows within your table to be able to put that notice there. So that is a little trick. It works on, if you have a table that is portrait orientation, it works there too. Again, you just put in your section breaks. Before the section, you put in a section break at the end of the section, and then you unlink all of the headers and footers, first and second pages of the sections before it and after it in order to be able to keep the changes from being transmitted into the other sections. Hopefully this helps, and email us for more tips.